Voice chat knows. What stock is that again? Welcome to Read the Room with Unc. What is up, everybody? This is Unc with this week's Read the Room. Hope y'all are enjoying the 3 day holiday weekend. Pretty good last week when it all got said and done. So I hope everybody had their plan ready to take advantage of the market last week and can do the same this week. So let's get right into it with my focus notes. Pretty much a mix of the hot list and a couple of things I'm looking at in the small cap world. Um, as always, no order. We've got to actually start at the bottom here today with Upstart. And if we hop over here on the flex grid, kind of get a little better picture of where we're at overall. Um, Kind of confirming on the weekly here, which we like to see. A little early on my note about the gap from about 54, 55 up to 70s. But that's back in play here, especially if you look on this 20. It's pretty much just wanting the mid candle action with the momentum to pick up. So keeping this on the hot list. If you do go intraday on this chart, it also provides pretty good range on the day. Definitely in an uptrend the last week, so we might have pullback, but if we don't, that gap will be present on Monday. Um, Pre-market levels, RTL, opening range, breakout, all that stuff works really well here. Next up, kind of been on here for a while, is Nat. Looking at the 20-day 1 hour chart, you see why we do like to play this chart in general. The range is actually expanded a little farther in our channel. We have ER before open, so we're really not going to be able to play before that unless we do buy shares in the pre-market. Um, Kind of modified the note this week, as you can read on my page as well. Low around 205, ER before the opening. Um, Kind of play it either way, looking for that $2 level on the flush or this 235 to confirm on good news back into our channel. Just a gem with a lot of range. If you learn the chart, this is pretty easy with a low risk and or low sizing of a position to get a decent move. And if you look on FlexGrid, pretty much every chart, RSI is in a decent spot. Um, the selling hasn't stopped on the weekly, but you can see it's kind of turning here. And we are green everywhere else, except for a little sell off at the end of the day Friday. So I like the overall where we are. Again, we're still in an uptrend on the weekly. LAC, another holdover from last week. Um, Probably one of the better trend lines. We talked about this in a voice on Sunday. One of the better trend lines we had. We put this up legit the day or the week before it broke. Um, then it came back down here, and the first time it's broke is where it started to confirm again. So we had the 23 level, which we were talking about last week. Solid week overall for this thing. Made it to the level, broke through on Friday, which I do want to see a little bit more confirmation. Um, but it's A or B for me here. Either we continue on this trend and we have range in the 30s. 33 is kind of my next level. Or we do check back into the zone and reset this play, rinse and repeat in the channel. Um, Overall, this sector, the lithium is not going anywhere. Professor does have a price on it. I believe it was 240. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, 240, 260, 280 really sends these things. Just nice to have a lithium play on your list. Next up, we have Cold, which is the natural gas short ETF. I believe that's the best way to explain it. Um, Currently, it's just came out of a reverse split, so we haven't really established a range up here. But what happened the first day with the dip below 20, I'm feeling that's pretty much going to be the range right now. So the note sub 20, um, definitely early here after the reverse split. Rinse and repeat for your percentage. This thing definitely gets moving. Um, Depending on the price of natural gas and the overall market environment for that. So I'm just looking for things to cool off. I don't think they can be expensive forever. Another one where I asked Professor for the price. The futures right now are at 8.50 on natural gas, and we'd like to see that probably about a dollar lower for this thing to to figure out where it's going to be post reverse split. It was a $5-6 stock before the split, um, but really probably should have been closer to the 20s. Kodak, previous winner, um, off of this level as well. Probably want to bring this up on a bigger chart so you guys can see this. Professor called this one a few ERs ago, I believe. And we didn't catch this move, at least the room didn't catch this room. Um, but we still had a $1.50 move up. So we're looking for something similar just off this level. Retest this range, even mid candle is to 6. Um, Also, be mindful if we don't get confirmation here. The $4 level would be where I would try to play this, but the range from 4 to 460 is still enough for my percent. Um, Although I would like this upper channel to form um, and retest again, like I said, the mid candle somewhere in here around 556. Givo, just a gem. Solid week off 354 last week. Kind of took a, we might have been a week early for it to actually settle down. This is more what I call confirmation. Nice soft landing, couple days on the level, big pop off the level. That's what you like to see. We do have the $5 level being the next one up after this good week. Looking for a continuation on this one. The note is just looking for the higher low for the $5 move. Again, these guys have news kind of built into the future, but the market in general does kind of push their direction. So be mindful of that. Obviously, we just have a solid level right here on 350. Everyone should have that line on their chart. Fubo, this just keeps getting better and better for me. The longer, especially here on the weekly, the longer we stay down here, similar zone. Not only is the 325 to 350 playable, or excuse me, the 3 to 350 playable, but you can you're getting confirmation here around that level. I do think we have a higher low, so I think 3.2 is about all you're going to get, but the 350 is very prevalent in the option strike prices. Um, that's the where the whales fight is. So I'm kind of playing back to that level until I see it break. Um, so again, right now I think 320 is about what we're going to get. I don't know if we get $3 ads again, and 350 being my key level for the continuation to let's say 455. All right, Express, we got around the ER. Looking for a little pullback here, maybe 315 is what I would like to see hold in the long run. But I do think we get one more pullback here down, maybe 275 even before we make it into that next level. The 3 to 315, I really like this area to hold because of the range to 378, which if we go into more time frames, you can kind of see how that's been a very consistent level. So I just want this channel to reform. Give me my secret meme back with those 3 to 378 rinses. Loyalty. I got loyalty inside my DNA. One of my favorite stocks. Um, just good outlook in the future. I like what they fit. Hopefully they do get picked up. $3 is key on all time frames. Kind of trading around that until we get some confirmation. Love the way it looks on the weekly. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a $4 test soon. This is one of the fews I'm okay with DCAing in as opposed to day trading. But when this gets below the, I don't know, 250, 260 level, pretty much just a good spot to buy if you are going to day trade it. One of Cathie Wood's stocks, which that doesn't really mean anything, but it's good to know the people that are behind your stuff. So if this would get news, they would probably get push. Because of that, she would be in promotion of the stock as well. Clove, another one that's kind of in a fight in the options. The 256 is now holding well off of this too. The 218 we just basically got because of the ER dip. This 256 is probably the more consistent level. and this still has a ton of range. Just hasn't really had a catalyst or a reason to lift it off the bottom, but you can play that level for a percentage pretty much regularly. You see right here, it's almost a daily thing lately. These candles are 265, 288, 266, 288, 264, 288. You see the trend here. You see the trend. So this is a good chart to know, especially when you get on the day chart of it. Has a lot of nice spots to add, and then usually get a pretty good spike. Can't really see patterns here, whether it's usually solid off the open for a couple days and it'll pull back. But if you can figure out the pattern behind this one, it's probably one of the more safer stocks to trade right now. In the healthcare sector, it's probably one of the more safer trades. All right, next up, another repeat ADR. This fits a lot of things. We talked about this when we added it to the list. Pretty much looking at all time frames here. The lower level we have, a 284, really doesn't look like it's offering much threat, but the 360 is definitely resistant, so it needs to kind of make up its mind here. But we have plenty of range when we do confirm this level. We have kind of sat down here for 2 weeks after the ER, so I do want to get back above this line. Although we did basically touch it Friday, I do want to see a little bit more confirmation. But this should stay in play. If you do look at the channel, here, let me go a little bigger than the 20-day for you. If you do look at the channel, it's been very consistent in this channel. 1, 2, 3 higher lows. So maybe one more higher low before we do break out. But gonna keep it in this rotation because of the range it does offer on the day. All right, BLBX, Black Box Stocks. I actually started seeing commercials for these guys. Just can probably see it right here. Playing the same move. Caught this at 168 last time. I think Pops was the only one that even caught the mention on it. I definitely did not play this up to $5. I got out pretty early on it. But even from that level, 100% move was in the works. And I'm looking for the same thing again. Obviously, this is the bottom, even if you look on the weekly. A very low risk from here. This thing should not just fall without some horrible news. Don't really see that happening. So to justify where it should be, whether it's in this range here at 325. That kind of to me makes the most sense, which I like the range from $1.68 to 325. Definitely a wait and see, but this will be one where one day I wake up and I say, hey, we're up a decent percent, and looking for continuation on the move back to that level of $3 to $4. It's not something that's going to slowly grind up, as you can see by the previous moves. When it popped this day, we pretty much went 70 cents the first day, kind of consolidated for 2 days, and then gapped up dang near $1. So it's not slow. It's a low float, a little bit of risk reward. If I do play something more riskier, this is the setup I like personally. Think of it as like a leap. BBIG, back to the bottom of the channel. We kind of talked a little bit about it in my note. We might even go a little bit lower than the channel. They pushed back the exercise date on the share thing for their spinoff or whatever this news is. Looking real good on the weekly. Still do like our channel here, 229 to 3. But with that pushback of the dividend, we could get what we got back here in the pre-ER. I just don't think it's leaving this channel for a while. And then if we do get some kind of good news, we do have, let's say, the 5s maybe back into play. The 10 and 12 days are definitely long gone if that's what you're waiting for, or if you're underwater in this position. I wouldn't be counting on that. But there just becomes a time, for me personally, it's closer to 2, that the position, or excuse me, the stock is in a good position. And then when you get close to 3, you're kind of not in a good position. So that's how I personally like to trade it. And as you can see on this time frame, it's kind of worked great last few months. AI didn't make the list, but it made my notes. Kind of seeing it. Well, I guess I got the alert off the level. I didn't really see it, but I got an alert, and just as at the bottom of the channel, performed real well off the level. Why you set levels, lines, and alerts. I'll let you know if the stock's responding to what you see or not. Um, we do have ER coming up, so I do want to be mindful of that. Either level here is playable for me, whether we confirm up here above 21 or we check back to 1650. I like the range it provides, and it's a pretty familiar stock for me, so that's why I like to trade it. ACP, simple as 1, 2, 3. Horrible news. They kind of got hit with a double negative, I believe. They were down on news, on in-house news themselves, and then the Delaware situation didn't help much. Yeah, they upped their financing. They needed more money. I guess is the how people take that. I believe it went from 100 million to 150 million dollar financing deal. Still, if you go to bigger time frames, this chart is now in the way oversold all-time low. Oh my goodness. Kind of perfect timing that it happened on Friday, so we can play it back. Professor was pretty adamant about the flow to 2. I think 2 would be right at mid candle, so I can see that. So I wanted to add it back at somewhere if it wasn't on the hot list to my notes. I'll definitely be playing this. This is another one, a lot like, well, I guess it's not like BLBX because I wouldn't hold it forever, but this one I would hold for a while, especially if you believe cannabis will ever be legal in the country. These guys should just advance from here on that news itself. Always acquisition in line when you get this low, but these guys are one of the major players, especially for tradable companies. All right, next one, not necessarily the play. This was on the, I believe it was either on the hot list. It was definitely on the hot list. I don't know if it was in notes. But just a quick, what I look for, especially around support and resistance. So MBIZ is probably just a good example. No, I didn't catch it. No, I didn't trade it. I just noticed it when I was reviewing charts. So I kind of wanted to point out, because when you find things like this, they can be gold mines. GOED last year, I believe we traded for dang near a month and a half off of this principle. So if you look somewhere in here, after the dip, when we kind of confirm the uptrend, you start getting this, it's more on these 3 days. So you get this massive pullback, an up day, massive pullback, an up day, pullback, up, and it's just sitting in this zone. But you can tell that it's having trouble with the 325 line. So as soon as you see that, you need to maybe go down here and establish where the bottoms are, and if that's enough range for you to play, set an alert and start trading just that zone. This one you could have traded, let's count some days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if you miss this first move, the first day of 11 kind of was where we tested 325. Playing off of that after, all right, so I'll say 9 days because I'll give you 2 days to confirm. But playing that from 3 to 325 or low 3s to 325 happened once, twice, 3 times. And then you get what I call the honey bucket, the honey pot. You finally get a break that gives you more of a percent. Playing, the reason this is important for me is trying to pick when 325 confirms here is darn near impossible. Playing back to it seems like the only appropriate thing to do. Not the best percentage here, but this setup happens all the time. And then it will keep you on the chart for when we do break through the zone. And as you can see, when this finally broke through the zone, um, the 2 days is all it really took. And then you have a 50 cent move. So I'm looking for this zone to retest. This is a great stock to trade. Let's go look on some more time frames here so you can see. But yes, again, flat bottom kind of bouncing here. Any move off of this level is pretty much to the north. There's not a lot of south going on here. And I like that, especially on the weekly time frame. Bigger picture kind of tells you what's going on. I like choppy charts, right? But I don't want my weekly to be too choppy. I want to see consistent levels in my weekly. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About the last 2 months, we've sat in this zone. 50 cents. It's basically the zone on a 30, excuse me, on a $3.25 stock. So you're still looking at 17%, 15, 17% there. And one more example, maybe on a little bigger equities, PLTR, and the more shares, I guess bigger the float in general is, the more consistent the moves are going to be. But this is definitely what you want to see, confirming on levels on the weekly. And then if you look at that on a day chart or an hourly chart, the moves are going to be a lot more noticeable. So I best consistencies on the larger time frame will help you, as well as locating patterns and similarities in the chart. So to try to always be mindful of that. When you find one, use that as your edge, or point it out in the room, and we'll find a way to trade that consistency. The market is inconsistent, so looking for consistencies is definitely something that will help your game. All right, everybody, let's have a good week. Remember, it's a short week out there, so it will probably be pretty volatile in either direction. People trying to squeeze that extra day in. Let's have a plan. Do I really have to say I'm not a financial advisor? I guess I do nowadays. I guess I do. But yeah, let's stay focused, take notes, and most importantly, read the room.